He's a failed politician. Now, wait, a simple parliamentary system now by what power will to maintain it. Okotena city na Benarable Busa and say Mahamudu Bawumia has moved from economic to digitalization. And nipa because of economy to be vice president on can economy no wasema all can digitization munti explanation on my akwawe oba Bawumia manifesto na omo amotro efa economy no no ene manifesto no committee na sub committee na etrofa economy no no economics no ono ne di enim enti answer about me be gina bontaka economy no wasema na say economics no we mu na man green light say can we ni can we yebusa a simple question. Say identity Bawumia after the economy we jan wan sam ka to see the digitization kwa na oka munti explanation yi man kwasi afo betra Ghana how.
So the big theme can be summarized into the digital economy.
Very well.
Some people think that is a departure from what propelled him to power from 2014, 2015, 2016. He was very strong on the economy, simplicity, which was at the front end since the 2016 victory. And now that he is gunning for number one, why should he move away, particularly when the economy is still an issue?
Yeah, but he's saying that you can't separate the digitalization from the economy per se. You know, it is the next level. So the soft infrastructure, if you like, you know, we've done the schools and hospitals, Agenda 111 and the rest. Now, how do we take advantage of digitalization to train our youth in digital skills, you know, fintech, all of these fantastic ideas out there? How do we take advantage of two as a country? So the economy is part of this whole digital drive, and you hear him talk about digitalizing the filing of taxes, for example, to take away the human element. Okay, and this flat tax that he's propounding, all of it is inherent in this new phase that he wants to take the economy. So,
but fair enough, but should the fundamentals of the economy not be at the basis, so that the digitalization then becomes what you do after you fix the fundamentals? So the argument is that as we speak, the fundamentals are shaky, people are struggling. It's an economy election simplicity. So to propose the digitalization agenda when you are having basic economic issues to deal with seems like I don't know, you are going ahead of yourself.
I was putting it in big theme perspective, but there are, if you drill down into the manifesto, there are actually issues about jobs, okay, revenue issues. How do we rein in spending? All the things which derails the fundamentals. How do we, having been in office for 8 years and being at the head of the economic management team, I guess now he's talking about a fiscal council that would assess the plans put forward by the Ministry of Finance, you know, so that we don't go back to overspending. It is the expenditure, the over expenditure, that derails all of these fundamentals, and then we are back to square one. So how can we put in measures to now, for instance, rein in spending, checkmate each other? So he's saying that, well, each year's budget, the new budget, will not be more than 105% of the previous year's revenue. So as a guide on himself, back to the fiscal responsibility rule, a deficit of less than 5%. You know, for me, those are key to taming inflation.
Yeah, what was he talking about? But I bet you there are no. That was the day. But you mistake, Pau. Hey, honestly, to be very fair, I'm going to be very honest here. I did not understand what this guy was saying. To be very fair, it was a simple question. I don't know about major economy wants some air infrastructure. When I'm done the committee, the manifesto committee, I know. Just give us a simple explanation. I did not understand anything he said. Actually, because he started from soft infrastructure, NOBP digitalization, NOBP filing of taxes, NOBP expenditure, OPA spending, fiscal responsibility, and what is all that? I just don't get it. In one question, this guy spoke about soft infrastructure. He spoke about digitalization. He spoke about expenditure. He spoke about filing of taxes. Spoke about spending, fiscal responsibility. He is talking about. I just want to ask you, the NPP as a political party, any Bawumia Kasano, you don't understand the difference between fintech and the economy. Maybe they are getting that. You see, maybe all along they are seeing fintech as mixing economy and digitization. I just don't get it, because you see, with all due respect, university my economics near the know. I beg you. Say can move to my boy, I'm a partial. My economics kakrano. The answer this guy gave, can you help me? Like, can you help break it down? Because I just want to understand, what is he trying to? Is it talking about fintech? Is it talking about economy? Is it talking about digitization? Where does the economy sit? Because Bernard Abler followed up, say you need to make sure you get the basics right before you can build on or bring in the enhancer, which is the digitization. Now, if the basics, that is the fundamentals, the economy, the structure, making sure everything is solid, if that is not right, how can you build on to get to digitization to enhance it? It was a simple question for him to let us know. Now, Akwawe, no parliament, yes, see, finance committee on an chairman who said, I just don't know. I feel sad. I feel sad. Mr. S, if it's not fintech he's talking about, I don't know, because they are talking about financial technology, or they are talking about the economy on its own and digitization on its own. If you want to tell us Bawumia is not talking fintech, then we know how to question him. But if he's not talking fintech and you are telling me Bawumia has not moved from the economy and that he's talking about digitization, and within the digitization the economy is in there, then you are confusing me, you are confusing yourself. The NPP, did they understand fintech? Did they understand the economy? Did they understand digitization? These are three things that has different meanings. They perform different things. And for all these three to work, your fundamentals are supposed to be solid. So when your fundamentals are not solid, the fintech is not going to work, the economy is not going to work, and the digitization is not going to work. I want to know where Bawumia stands. And here now, Gina. These are the people who are writing manifesto for Bawumia. Now, Bawumia opposition, these are some of the things he said. This Bawumia in opposition. This Bawumia in opposition.
By food prices. So, ask every, woman, man who goes to the markets and ask about food prices between last year and this year, and see how food prices have been increasing. My visits to the markets, whether it's in Malatar or Tamale or wherever, suggest that food prices are really going up. That is clear. I mean, in Bulga market, for example, as I pointed out in my lecture, maize, a staple, maize, where we eat tuzafi every day from maize, went up by 60% within just the last year. More than 100% in Accra. I mean, so the point is that when you look at the cost of living, the benefits of a single-digit inflation rate doesn't seem reflected in the cost of living. By food prices. So, ask every, man who goes to the markets and ask about food prices between last year and this year and see how food prices have been increasing. My visits to the markets, whether it's in Malatar or Tamale or wherever, suggest that food prices are really going up. That is clear. I mean, in Bulga market, for example, as I pointed out in my lecture, maize, a staple, maize, where we eat tuzafi every day from maize, went up by 60% within just the last year, more than 100% in Accra. I mean, so the point is that when you look at the cost of living, the benefits of a single-digit inflation rate doesn't seem reflected in the cost of living.
This is Paul Adomotri and Bawumia. He was talking about the fundamentals, and he was talking about cost of living. Senyoma boy dia, you've gotten it wrong. The fundamentals are weak. The argument no making and say, so come at the market, now the tomatoes are near 22 cities and they are 12 cities. It means to say the fundamentals are weak. You have gotten it wrong. You have failed. That's all. When the living condition, when people are spending so much to buy little, when people's income at the end of the day, whatever they spend their income on is not enough to cover their income. What it means is to say people are spending more and getting less. Send who pay and now 8 years ago and jumping to 100% increment. Now than 500 Ghana. Now petrol ya 300%. Ya to tomatoes 200%. Ya to insume 10%, 50%. Ya to light 30%. The fundamentals are wrong, because then it is going to bring more hardship to you, because what you are earning is not able to clear what you are doing, what are supposed to service or pay. It is when your income is smaller than your expenditure. Your what you are getting in is smaller than how much you are spending. It means that you as a person, you are making a loss. Now if you are spending so much to the point where in economics, when you are spending so much and what you have to take care of that spending, your income cannot equate your spending. It means at the end of the day, you are that person, you are running at a loss. Now, for tomatoes price to increase, for your salary to stay where it is, for fuel to increase, for everything that you are paying for, or your income stays where it is, it means you are getting fundamentals wrong. That means amount for who and that was the analogy from Bawumia. Say nyoma boy a ding. Na say nipa no ho chire na aban because inflation 1% to cry. As far as say saa nyoma na edwaso no boy a ding no, it does not reflect in aban figures no. In time and opposition, I catch a Ghana for say. So aban be catch us inflation here 1%. Not tomatoes now turn 1 city and all 3 cities are. And this would ji aban figures needy. They also would ji this uko joma oton nyoma saying. It is your purchasing power. So purchasing power near lesser. It means that the aban has failed you and that you are living in poverty. So Bawumia was throwing words around. Bawumia was basically trying to confuse Ghanaians, and we are in the same situation where at the end of the day people cannot afford, people cannot pay for things. At the end of the day, sending near tomatoes bono, I should about do this pointer amount for no tomatoes 1 city. I see only have 5 cities to buy tomatoes. It's a bank catcher say inflation about do 23 so 23 no, it does not reflect again nipa no and what chira obukom and some tomatoes bako. Technically, Bawumia at this point, as the head of economic management team, he has failed Ghana. See, a time Ghana man, I better tomatoes back 300,000 Ghana. Because for 8 years, Bawumia could not make sure say, send an air ton your man, your ton of bofu a chain, send an air ton, and your ton of 10 times the price time and not Bawumia position. Into one and a catch row, or see inflation in there, I bind the numbers in Bamente. Show bottom any idea will be tomato your purchasing power and the ukuta 1,000 Ghana and yet petrol saying will be tomato. How many liters of fuel can you buy with 1,000 Ghana cedis? So ukuta 20,000 Ghana oko kwanso anyoma saying will be tomato. That is what we call the economy. When you don't get these things right, digitalization be any see a bit to me aba obiako domakoto tomatoes 300 Ghana 200 boxes and see digitalization be any we see a be mo akoto kerosene efufofo digitalization bi ani wiase a ebema wo fare ni na unya diesel akọ eposo no obekọ ni ati diesel so it is only to make sure say that digitalization no ewo no eno ema nyoma bo onya fu digitalization enti nsuo so digitalization enti tomatoes so digitalization no enti dokono so digitalization ahukira ukoma wucha waterbill no enti so Bawumia needs to get those things first right. He needs to make sure yati tomatoes so yati dokono so yati nsuo so yati bibia we use so and send out the digitalization aba. It is a ultimate solve our problem now. You cannot tell me say digitalization e be di wajimi uni dross na o prebente ho making sabio ohwa wodu unya bente unya dross ahye unya benta ebeso sabio ubemem achichire no ama sabio wotwo no kwa entwufom uso gina bontene presket unya bente unya eba unya white chapel ahye ama sabio ubema na etwufom no wotuma achichire ni yie ama sabio ubibi ntwufom ongine benta obehye ho wogina dwom presket na auto skirt ni wia ehin na obente wotwo no wo de besensen wagimi o pele echetia o o pele tia o okutupe na amanfo hwe o pele ade wo se about tim se ubenya benta hye ubenya dross hye se ne be ya okutu a amanfo hu be hu pele ana wugina dwom na o di miniskirt ano na miniskirt na wo hye no wo hye wie na ukwan de tofo ma ebe na watam jimi uchu esensen ho unya de bi ahye ade akata uchu ho se ne be ya uchu entwi fom etika ko first line na nka wo pe eye de dross akese a wo be hye ebe so uchu wugina first line o pe crop top o go pe crop top ahye na o to crop top ri a je na ebe so pili dim yeah Bawumia o pele sinza Bawumia onim na nsa ba agukra o Bawumia o pele sinza wono oyire mo pele sinza ho mo beko kantamanto akoto dross ahye masebi o pele no amanfo hu no waka kira oyire se ne pele na sa no oduru kantamanto a onto crop top na samina koto crop top a no nam krom na ne kwan ne top na obutu atamu a o hu se ne pele betua ho. Take care of the fundamentals before you talk about digitalization. Wait to me.
What up, my people? I go by the name T-Rhyme, aka the stylish rapper, aka Conscious, aka Fire, aka what I say, BBB. You watching Davcadotv. Keep it locked. Don't go nowhere. Alright.